Donnel, can you talk about how different a running back you are now and the expectations everybody has?
I'd say this year I'm working on coming out the backfield, running more routes than I did last year, and being able to impact our receiving game a little more than last year. And I mean, we have big expectations as a whole offense, to be honest. We want to be the best offense in the conference, hopefully.
Are you surprised the kind of numbers you've put up here the last 2.5 years?
Honestly, no, because I mean our offensive line they're a big help, and our whole offense as one is a big help, and we're just able to gel together. And our ground game has always been a big impact for San Diego State's offense, and hopefully this year we could just make it even better.
Pearce, can you talk about when you look at video, what he's done?
He's been like very explosive, always making people miss. It's fast, and it's tough. Special back.
What are your guys' thoughts on the quarterbacks? As far as what have you seen from them?
Well, I missed spring, but I got to watch them on film and, watch them. And this summer we've been working together a lot. And one thing that I like to say is competition breeds success. So whether it's Max out there throwing, Jake out there throwing, Chapman out there throwing, they see somebody out there working and they also want to go get work. So we're all competitive. Everybody wants to play. So if I see Eric working out, we're running routes, I'm going to go out there with him just to make sure we're pushing each other to be the best, because in all honesty, the quarterbacks and receivers need to improve from last year, because like they said, our offensive linemen and running backs, and combined with the defense, won us a lot of games last year. So if we pick up our slack, then we should be a tough team in the conference to beat.
Lloyd, Rocky hasn't been shy about stating his disappointment in you guys as receivers as a group. Not physical enough, he said. I know you guys have heard that from him and Hunky. And I know you didn't get to do as much as you would like in spring, but did you see a different tone from Hunky and expectation? What was that like?
Well, the first time I met him, he came across as a guy who was very stern, very smart, and very passionate in what he wanted to do. So that will translate into how we play on the field in practice, and we'll move those into games, stuff like that. But he's an awesome coach. I'm glad that he's here. He's continued what Coach Mack tried to instill in us, and he's making us better so that we can improve this offense, like I said, because last year, to be honest, it looked like a freshman high school team out there the way we were passing the ball, because it was really bad. But we're trying to improve, so we're just gonna hope that with Donnel in the backfield, they'll load up 8-9 guys in the box, and we can beat them over the top.
Was it just the physical play by you guys, or were there a lot of route mistakes?
Yeah, me in particular, I wasn't always in the right place. I wasn't running the right routes. I wasn't doing things like that. So we had to go back to the basics. Coach Horton made the offense simpler for us, because last year there was a lot of route changes and stuff like that. So the offense is simpler for us to play faster and not think as much and just react.
Are you already in camp? Did you already kind of see evidence that the simplification might help?
Oh yeah, the simplification helps, because we're not thinking as much. We're just reacting to what the play is called, and we're just doing what we're supposed to do. Because if you got one play, you might have 3 different route combinations based on the different coverages, but they simplified it for us and made it easier just so that we can go out there and let our talents do the job.
How's your health?
I'm 100% ready to go. I'll be out there Thursday, full go.
Donnel, can you talk about learning to run inside, tackle to tackle, and all the pounding versus being out in space?
I mean, there's not really a difference. I mean, whatever the coaches call, we just go based off of that play, and whether it's open or not. I mean, on inside runs, you're able to bounce outside and hit the open field. But I mean, this year we want to do both, and hopefully they both go up.
How do you hold up to the wear and tear?
Excuse me?
How do you hold up to the wear and tear? Rocky said he never thought he'd mention your name equaling 25 touches a game.
I mean, honestly, I just play the game as hard as I can, and hopefully, I don't really think about injury, to be honest. I just play the game hard as possible.
As honest as you can be, how worn out were you at the end of last year? Were you during the season? How much did you deal with injuries during the season that you didn't let us know about?
Honestly, I didn't really have a lot of injuries, to be honest. Just a toe problem, that's it. But this year, I'm 100%, and we'll be ready to go.
You turn around and look at the other guys on the depth chart. Pretty deep group, eh?
Oh yeah, we have 4 other guys and incoming freshmen. They're all beasts, and hopefully this year they can impact the run game as well. It's not just me.
Is there a guy on that depth chart that reminds you of yourself? Is there anyone who looks like you think?
Honestly, well, we all have different styles to run the ball, and I mean, Stamps, he runs people over, big, powerful guy. Rashad Penny, he can catch the ball at the backfield. He's fast, he can explode. Jawan Washington, we haven't been able to see him yet, but I mean, on the highlights, he kind of looks similar to me, to be honest. So hopefully, this is gonna be a fun year.
You mentioned how you weren't really excited about the wide receivers last year, Lloyd. But all younger guys, how excited are you just to see who steps up? Any guys you're anticipating stepping up, right away?
Michael Holder. He's in the spring. He was the most consistent guy. He's the one who made the most plays. He's the one that stood out day in and day out. And he's got to. Last year he played sparingly in some games, but he's got to mature, and he's ready to have a good season for us.
When a guy like Micah steps up in the spring like that, Lloyd, does it motivate you?
To be honest, I want to be the best receiver that we got here. So when I saw him and saw him make plays like he did at a very high level, it pushed me to get back faster from my injury, because I tried to play in the spring game, but they didn't let me. So I wanted to go out there to show what I can do also, so that people didn't forget about me. So, but yeah, watching him push me to try to excel myself.
Hey, Pearce, we've heard the stories about how tough it is for a JUCO quarterback to step up at Division I and play immediately. How hard is it for an O-lineman?
I think it may be a little bit more complex because, when you're out there, you start having to know all the blocking schemes, pass protection and stuff like that. It's a little bit different coming from junior college and Division I level, but, if you really focus in on studying your playbook and assignments like that, you'll be just fine. So it's not really too big of a difference. As long as you stay committed, you'll be fine.
How about the physicality of Division I?
I say it's definitely more physical. Everyone's strong, everyone's fast. So if you're not handling business in the weight room on the field, you'll probably lack in play. So it's important to do what you're supposed to do.
Pearce, Rocky said that there's going to be 3 new starters in the offensive line coming in. What does it take to, take a relatively inexperienced line and get them game ready from your point of view?
From my point of view, I think giving them confidence, getting out there, getting reps, live games. Once they start getting confidence and, doing well with the assignments, they'll be just fine.
Would it make it any more difficult for you, just being, because you right now, as of now, you really don't know who's going to be next to you at right guard, because there's different guys taking reps. Does it make it any more harder on you, just not knowing?
No, I don't think it makes it hard on myself, because I know whoever they trust to put in there, he'll be just fine. So I'll try to help him out. Whoever it is next to me, I'll try to help him out as much as I can.
Is it easier to learn pass blocking or run blocking, would you say?
I'd say it's easier to learn run blocking. There's only so much you can do. Double teams, either man on man, zone. That's pretty much it.
And then as opposed to pass blocking?
Different slides, fronts. For me, tackle, short chop, which is a corner blitzing. Sort of like a man protection where we're responsible for a down lineman and a linebacker. So it's a little bit more complex.
And then just for, I guess, all of you guys, what's it going to be like for you? Well, Jeff Horton, he got promoted as offensive coordinator. Especially you, as former running backs coach, running backs coach. What did you think of him and just being a play caller?
I think it's going to impact our offense a lot just because last year we were more slower pace. This year we're going to try to up the pace and just hit them with different packages.
JJ, how did you fight through all the adversity, all the injuries? How'd you do this?
It was pretty easy for the most part. I mean, after it's all said and done, I got a great family, great team support. Guys downstairs in the training facilities always helping, willing to help me, the coaching staff, never looking down upon. It was a team effort. I mean, it just wasn't me alone in this situation.
Did you ever have doubts that you may not make it back?
I mean, of course. I mean, especially after the second one, the third one, But my relationship with God, it just continued to grow stronger, and it helped me be patient, humble, and it all worked out for me.
A lot's been made about the experience of this defense coming back. All the starters, most of the starters are coming back. What do you guys think about how the defensive unit is looking so far and how it'll be this year?
With the experience coming back, I think it's going to be able for us to play a lot faster. Guys are going to know what they're doing. Guys don't have to think as much. I think this year we can work on a lot of more communication on the field. I think that's going to help us be a lot better as well. So just with the communication and being able to play a lot faster without thinking as much is going to help us this defense.
Alex, can you speak to JJ's kind of character and leadership on this team? What do you think it's meant the last couple of years?
Definitely being here that long, I can say I look up to him as a leader. I mean, he has experience. He's been through it all, like you said, just all the injuries that he's been through. I experienced an injury this past season, and, you really do come to a point where it's like, dang, it's not getting healthier. Am I going to be back? And just seeing him be able to do it, it's just like, I'll be fine, and I'm going to get through this. And, I mean, it's all going to go good. So.
Greater appreciation for what he went through.
Exactly. Yeah.
You get the senior discount if you go with him at movies or anything?
No. That's funny.
You're not a father figure.
Yeah.
JJ,
how are you feeling? How's your injury issues going right now?
I feel 100% honestly right now. Throughout the whole summer, I've been battling pain stuff and just annoyance of just what's the hardware in my foot. But other than that, you get through that, and I feel good.
What was the diagnosis at the end of last year? What did you have?
Just a Liz Franck injury. It's basically a partial tear in your foot. So.
Did you play through quite a bit of pain at the end?
Yeah, I finished out the game. It happened in Boise, and I finished out the game to the best I could. And after that, try to get better every week and try to play those games, but it just didn't happen. But other than that, I'm pretty confident about what's going to happen in camp this year for sure.
JJ, how complex is Rocky's defensive playbook? How tough is it to learn?
Well, it's kind of like you live and you learn. You can't sit in a room and try to figure it out. You got to go out there. You got to make mistakes. You got to go out there. You got to be full speed. And I think learning by example is fun. We're 3-3-5, blitzing everywhere. You got this big guy dropping back. He's going hard. You never really know what we're doing. We're zone man. It's very complex. It's very imaginable. It's perfect.
Alex, how do you see kind of your role this year? Do you see yourself strictly playing nose like you did mainly last year? Are you open to moving around?
This year, this camp, I'm going to be working at end. Just moving outside because we got Christian Hayward coming back. So he'll be taking over the nose. And we have some good young guys coming up that's going to play a nose role too. Bigger set guys. So, but this camp, I'm going to be working most of my stuff at defensive end, and pretty excited about that.
That's what you play mainly in high school, right?
In high school, I played inside. I played a 3 technique. We run a 4-front. It's much different. But here, anywhere you play on the defensive line, they're all like the same. You have to be able to move, have to be physical, just all those characteristics. So.
How does it change though? Is it a little more exciting getting to be on the end, maybe?
Yeah,
corners a little bit?
I feel like, because I'm a smaller set guy and I played nose last year, so I definitely had to hold my own. But I mean, outside, I have a little bit more freedom just to utilize my skills, like as just a pass rusher and just speed and quickness. So I'm excited about that.
He just said small.
Yeah.
What are you guys most excited about coming up to the season start?
September 5th. I mean, the last time we played was what? What day was that bowl game? It's kind of good we kind of put that in our past, but, you know, like we're saying, September 5th, we get to come back and, you know, we get to redeem ourselves. We get to come back and try to win the Mountain West Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Alex?
Same thing. I mean, first game of the season, it's going to be huge. I mean, Sky Show, all that, USD. I mean, it's going to be great competition, you know. Just, yeah, September 5th is what we're looking forward to.
Do you guys know any of the players?
At USD?
Yeah.
Actually, one of my best friends in high school, he's going to be playing a receiver there. His name's Parker Rasmussen. He went on a mission for Italy for 2 years and obviously has the opportunity to play like Division I ball again after those 2 years. And so I'll be seeing him on the field, which will be really cool.
He's a wide receiver.
Yeah, he plays wide receiver.
Are you thinking about the prospect of maybe tackling him?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if he comes inside, I don't know, maybe I'm dropping back for some coverage because defensive ends do different things in this defense. So, I mean, maybe there's a possibility. So.
JJ, was last season, when you walk away from last season, I mean, I don't know how much winning the bowl game would have changed your outlook on it, and maybe you can tell me that, but was it ultimately a disappointment given how you guys ended up finishing? You guys didn't get it done in some games at the end. So when you look back on last season, what stands out?
I think, you know, in a lot of those games that we lost instead of won to Oregon State, it was a lot about finishing. It came down to the wire, whether it was late in the third, you know, mid-fourth, and the fourth, overtime. You know, it came down to the wire. Guys didn't finish. We didn't pull through when we needed to. And we try to preach it, you know. We look at each other in the huddle. We try to get guys going, but something didn't click. So maybe this whole offseason we emphasize it a lot more. You know, finish. We need to finish games. You know, our toughness is always there. It's just a matter of fact of finishing these long course games. It's a long game. You know, it's a long season. So I think this year, hopefully, we can do that. We can finish.
Rocky said a year ago this week when he talked to us that such uncertainty in the back end, and now you look at the back end, you got a lot of guys that went to war. I mean, the experience factor is real significant.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of takes the load off of us talking to you guys. You know, it's good now. You know, our conversations are positive, and before we had to prove ourselves so much. But I mean, this is a new season. We're gonna come against a bunch of new guys. It's still the same thing. You know, we just played together last year. That's the only difference now. This year we still got to come back. We got to prove ourselves. We got to prove that we can still be this dominant force on defense as well in the back end.